Hello, Year 11. Hope you are well. So we're going to start off our lesson as we always do with our lovely Corbett Higher 5 a day. Spend about 5 to 7 minutes on this. The questions involve a few more steps, so spend a little bit more time on there. If you have any problems, please do email me. So here it is. I will also attach it as a PDF file to make life easier. Just sort of, think about the questions carefully. You should be quite comfortable with the circle theorem 1. This one here, similar shapes. This one here, read the question carefully, and you've got some simultaneous equations there. So press pause and have a go. So to go through the answers, this one here, 27 to the power of 2/3. Okay, so remember you do the root of whatever's on the bottom. So the root of cube root of 27 is 3. And then I'm going to square that number. So 3 squared is 9. Okay, so here we've got 8 to the power of negative 2. So when you ever have something that is a power of a negative, you must always turn into its reciprocal. So it would be 1 over 8 to the power of 2. So after that gets rid of the negative. 1 over 8 to the power of 2. You still have to do that power, and then that gives you the 1 over 64. Okay, so moving on. Circle theorems here. So we've got a cyclic quadrilateral. So remember, opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180. So nice and clearly you can see x, of course, would be 100 and y would be 70. So not too much work involved in that one. So this one here, we've got our similar shapes. Okay, so our two corresponding sides are the 15 and the 5. So we would do 15 divided by 5 to give us our scale factor of 3 centimeters. And because we're looking for a longer side, we would do 6 times 3 to give us this 18 centimeters. So this question here, okay, prove this triangle is right angle. So it's really important you do all the work correctly. So it's a right angle triangle, so we're using Pythagoras' theorem. So we want to see that, they've labeled it A, B, doesn't matter. That could be A, that could be B, whichever way. So the two shorter sides squared, then added, need to give you the hypotenuse squared. Okay, so it's really important before you begin, you write it all out in terms of the steps you're going to do. So square root 3, so let's say side A is going to be squared, and then this bracket, so 2 plus the square root 5, all squared, equals the hypotenuse squared. Okay, so be very careful when expanding your brackets, and remember with surds, if you multiply the base by like square root 3 by square root 3, it just turns into 3. Okay, so don't ever turn it into a 9. It's a common mistake that we see, so be very careful with that. Make sure when you expand this, I've told you many times, write it out as 2 brackets so you do not miss any terms. Okay, and the same with this one as well. So by doing all of that expanding and collecting like terms, this is what you should get over here. And then simplifying, okay, and then it's showing that it is giving you square root 2 plus square root 10 squared. So therefore it is a right angle triangle. Okay, so just making sure you're doing the steps properly. So this is just giving you that extra bit of understanding. So this one here, at a cafe, a coffee costs X pounds and a tea costs Y pounds. If 6 coffees and 7 teas cost £22 and 8 coffees and 9 teas cost £29, find the cost of coffee and the cost of a tea. So we need to make some simultaneous equations. So based on that here, using this statement here, we've done 6x, so our 6 coffees, and our 7 teas equals 22. And then we've done our 8 coffees, and our 9 teas cost £29. Okay, so we have to make one of these variables the same, the coefficient in front of x or y the same. Okay, so Mr. Corbett here decided to make our y's the same. So he multiplied this equation. So let's say equation 1. He multiplied equation 1 by 9, and he multiplied equation 2 by 7. Okay, to find that lowest common multiple. So then that gave us equation 3 and equation 4. And then he subtracted. So look carefully here. Okay, so he did equation 4 minus equation 3, okay, because that had the larger value. He's just written it the other way. Just make sure that you understand where those numbers came from. And then he solved it for the x, which gave you £2.50, and then substitute that back in to your original equation. So he substituted it into equation 1. Okay, that's equation 1 here, because 6 times the 2.50 gave you the 15, and then solved it for the y to give you £1 for a cup of tea. Okay. So for today, I would like us to continue with our algebra revision. Algebra, as you know, is so important in so many elements of our maths work. So today, I want you to look at pages 26 to 30. The mark total does come to over 60 marks, so it should take you over the lesson. However, if you do feel you've done enough work within the time completed, I have put in the higher plus 5 a day, because there are some quite nice questions on it. I didn't get you to do it yesterday because there was a couple of stuff on there that we haven't looked at in detail, so I wasn't happy to give that to you yesterday. So this is the higher plus 5 a day. As I said, I will attach it as a PDF if you need to. So please remember, if you are doing other work, that's not a problem. Just make sure wherever you have access to has the answers available, so you can check how well you're doing. Do remember, you can email me if you have any questions at all, and keep working hard, guys, because I know not everyone will be sitting that optional exam, but just in case you want to, this work will contribute massively. And any courses you do at college that may require a bit of maths, you need to keep it fresh in your minds. And like I said, with the higher plus, I will attach this whole file as a PDF, so it's easy for you to access, and you don't have to keep listening to my boring voice. But yeah, best of luck. A couple of students did email me about harder work, like in terms of doing something else. If that is you can't find access to something, you're finding trouble doing other work, if you don't want to complete the work I'm setting, that's not a problem if you're doing other work, as I've said, but just let me know if you are struggling in terms of what to do. Okay, speak to you soon, year 11. Take care.